Houses of Parliament, so often the scene of noisy debate, provided a suitable starting point for Baroness Thatcher's body on her final journey to a place of rest. The hearse carried the former Prime Minister past Downing Street, her home for 11 years before her tearful departure in 1990. Across the city, guests from 170 countries had begun arriving for the service at St. Paul's Cathedral. The guest list included a sprinkling of world leaders, past and present, together with members of Lady Thatcher's family. And significantly, Queen Elizabeth was there. A succession of prime ministers have been laid to rest without her presence and without such pageantry since she attended the state funeral for Sir Winston Churchill in 1965. Then, as now, the coffin was mounted on a gun carriage and carried through the streets, lined by a military honour guard. For Churchill, the crowd stood united in respectful silence as the coffin was drawn past. Several groups had given notice that they were not prepared to afford Lady Thatcher such unity.
Waste of money!
Disaffected by politics and having to foot the funeral bill, they made their protests peacefully, allowing the majority to take time out from an ordinary working day to witness the spectacle. The coffin was borne into the cathedral by bearers representing sections of the armed forces with a special connection to the Falklands War, considered by many of Lady Thatcher's supporters to be her finest hour. A bouquet of white flowers was accompanied by a simple message from her children. Beloved mother, always in our hearts. Lady Thatcher's 19-year-old granddaughter Amanda gave the first reading.
Above all, taking the shield of faith.
A transatlantic accent amid the most British of occasions. There followed a reading by Prime Minister David Cameron, and then the star turn, the address from the Bishop of London.
The storm of conflicting opinions centres on the Mrs. Thatcher, who became a symbolic figure, even an ism.
He told the congregation that this was not a place for debating Mrs. Thatcher's politics, but to remember her personal qualities. As Prime Minister Cameron listened, behind him, his finance minister was moved to tears.
I was once sitting next to her at some city function. She suddenly grasped my wrist and said very emphatically, "Don't touch the duck pate, Bishop. It's very fattening."
The patriotic hymn, "I Vow to Thee, My Country," provided a suitable musical send-off. Before Lady Thatcher's body was carried past her queen, ending a grand tribute to the grocer's daughter who became known throughout the world as the Iron Lady. Neil Curry, CNN, London.